Hello and welcome to the Sim Racers Asia GT Championship live on Apex Racing TV. My name is Sam Fitzpatrick, alongside me is Marco Barbier. We're here for round 3 of the championship, our second broadcast of the series here at Daytona International Speedway. This is a pretty iconic circuit, Marco. A lot of slipstreaming possible for these drivers to utilise. It should be one of the most competitive races of the season. It should be an action-packed one.
It is absolutely, of course, following the official series on iRacing. I actually had a race in the fixed series here at Daytona with the Ford. I was leading for the majority of the race, then I crashed. So the Ford can be an effective solution for tonight, and I've seen at least one of them running around. By the way, the championship standings after 2 rounds, Luis Paolo Gallon is leading the way with 80 points, winning in race 1 and race 2. Second in round 1 and round 2 was Ross Rizzo, and third in round 1 and round 2 was Cameron Stabber. So very balanced performance all around by the drivers. And of course, Daytona at night, these drivers might be very fresh from the enduro here, and of course the Sebring one, so night driving shouldn't be an issue for these competitors. Let's see how they are going to fare in this most iconic of racetracks. Slipstream is going to be very important, and we have a big field of 36 cars. Sam, surely we are going to have some fun.
Yeah, certainly hope so. Of course, at the start of these seasons we have some massive grids. Tends to diminish slightly as the season goes on, but it's really nice visiting these circuits in particular at the start of the season. It can get pretty chaotic, but these are high quality drives, a very high quality field out here. And so yeah, should have some good racing. We are currently in the 20 minutes qualifying session, and then we will have a 40-minute race to decide who is the victor of this round 3 of the series. And at the moment it is Seisha at the top of the standings, Luis Paolo Gallon in second position, and quarter of a second ahead at the moment. Marco is pretty significant, and actually that top 4 separated by 1 second. I'm not familiar with the pole sitter, and that's going to mean that I'm going to be reluctant to pronounce his name. But some high quality qualifying laps at the moment. I mean, whilst the draft is big, if the top 3 drivers have this pace advantage over the rest, they should be able to break the draft. It's yeah, really quite a pace difference at the front.
You know, Sam, I'm a bit surprised, but also not surprised. I'm trying to figure out which way the open qualifying session is going, in the sense that on the one hand, of course, you can use the slipstream, but on the other hand, of course, the traffic might make it tough for you to find the correct spot to get a good lap. So I don't know what to make of these big gaps at the front of the field, you know. That's going to be absolutely interesting. As you can see, that the checkered flags are waving, or the checkered flag is waving, to be more precise, with Barney the flagman going bananas. You maybe can spot him in the distance there, as we see maybe Ongsa White is going for one more lap. I don't know if he will have the time to finish it. It is awfully levered Audi.
So did you say awfully
Yes,
liveried
awfully
Audi? I mean, I unfortunately haven't got the livery up, but the livery I'm seeing is a very nice grey and yellow livery, which I'm quite a fan of, I must say.
You know, I love this championship because it's some of the most creative liveries in the service that in every series we broadcast. But I suggest you turn on Trading Paints and understand my disdain for this particular livery picked by the Thai driver, as he's about to come past the start-finish line. He has a purple second sector, so he's not going slow. The other sectors are, unfortunately for him, not good enough, and the 31 comes home, and he will improve to 15th place. Also we have running our colleague Daniel Litt, who's making sure to clean the eye line for the other drivers for when race time comes. In his Penrite sponsored Ferrari. Lee Jae-tok is in 32nd. We have been told about an influx of South Korean drivers. There's plenty of them in the entry list today, but I think we are pretty much. I don't see anyone, Sam, improving on their lap times.
Yeah, with the field diminished, maybe what you were pointing to earlier on, the slipstream effects perhaps not available to the drivers at the moment. Still, maybe one more. Daniel Leitz, of course, is approaching the line. Can Lee Jae-Doik go faster? No, that is pretty much it for him. There was a little bit of a question put by Gallon in the chat about the admins should be investigating the pole lap. Now, I'm not sure if that was jokingly or whether he's got a serious cause there. I don't know any glitches that you can kind of take advantage of here at Daytona.
Running
I
on
think
the
it
apron?
all should be. Perhaps so. That's well, but that's no faster, is it, Marco? Surely the banking, you generate a little bit more speed.
Yeah, but on the start-finish line, if you go low, you can go a bit faster. It's a pretty common tactic in ovals. And you know, of course, it's always been a bit of a discussion point here at Daytona, because in reality, in Daytona, it is forbidden to go on the apron, both in real life oval competition and road course competition. But we'll see. What we know is that these are the final results of qualifying, and they should be on your screen right now.
It is Seisha Natha Kunjon at the top of the standings. Sasha, I will work on my pronunciation. Apologies to all the drivers. Dane Baird had to go through the grid last week, and he did a pretty good job of it 2 weeks ago. There's Louis Palou Gallon, of course, in second position, and probably the favourite for this one after a very strong first 2 meetings. Then it's Kevin Huang in third place, Nicholas Fernat in fourth. Then it's Thomas Ferry, Jamal Gandor, Pirat Chukan in seventh, Sebastian Teixeira in 8th, then it's Yazin Yali in 9th, and Tai Kim rounding out the top 10 podium sitter, of course, back at Watkins Glen. Then it's Mitchell Huey in 11th, Cameron Stuber in 12th, then it's Jay Han, Tian Zhang, Pachara Hong Sweat, Benjamin Brook, Mingyu Song, Simon Sanchez in 18th. Behind that it is Chae Heen Kim, and of course our colleague Daniel Leitz rounding out the top 20. Behind that it is his fellow Australian Steve Tilbury. Then it's Federico Teixeira, Glenn Paolo, Wei In Long, Yongjae Lee, Sang-Young Lee, Narong Bulsanong, out Aaron Mitz, Stefan Iver, the only Frenchman out on circuit. Then it is Stephen Thomas, Asman Abdullah, Lee Jae-Doik, Lloyd Lolin, Kei Kai, and Park Chan-woo. Rounding up 35 cars, and I apologise again for the pronunciation. I thought I did alright there, Marco. I messed up 5 or 6.
I am chuckling because Stéphane Iver is the first Frenchman, the lone Frenchman on the field, apart from the other 3 Frenchmen that are 4th, 5th, and 7th.
Oh, but yeah, they did quite well, didn't they? Why do you have to point this out? We haven't got the flags up on screen. No one would have noticed, Marco. Come on. Where's Dane Baird? He wouldn't have picked up on that.
They were on the starting grid. I mean, I have them up on the starting grid graphics, but you know, time for talking is done, and the time for racing is here.
It sure is. Let's see if Gallon can get up into the lead of this race start, or whether the pole sitter will be able to hang on into the first corner for this entire 40-minute race at Daytona. The foots go down. We are away racing 40 minutes of action at Daytona International Speedway, and it is a very strong start for the pole sitter heading into turn 1 for the first time. Stubber just getting ahead of Hoy in 11th and 12th positions. That's a good start for Tai Kim as well to move up into 8th. But at the front, it is absolutely no change at the moment, as the drivers further back go too wide into turn 1. I'm not seeing any incidents so far, but of course it is very possible on this infield on the opening lap. Han just getting past Hoy as well for 12th position, but well, that's a good start for the Audi driver at the front. I think everyone just patient, waiting for the jumps to kick in as they move on to the oval.
Absolutely, they are coming into the western North Shore right now, as they are now getting ready to go down the corner that brings us back to the oval. And we have problems for Federico Teixeira. He is in the grass and pointing ostensibly in the wrong direction and back into the right direction, but unfortunately the last car now on the lead lap, the last car running period, as Nataku Jordan leading the way, Gallon, Kevin Wang, Fener and Ferry top 5, with Mr. Gondor in 6th, Tisher, Kim, Jali and Chukan in the top 10. Oh, pass for the lead. Where is the leader?
Oh, has he got a slowdown there? He's certainly hit some cones. Oh, this is bad news and such frustrating, because usually a slowdown here doesn't actually cost you that much. It might lose you like half second to a second, but on the first lap it's absolutely horrendous, and he's going to be falling down the offshore. He's got more to serve, and it's Gallon then into the lead. Huang pulling away as well. Is Nathan Kunjon going to have to give up another position? There's almost contact. Such an awkward first corner here at Daytona. Just behind that was Gandor and Teixeira in 6th and 7th, I think, just maintaining their positions. There's the Ford all over the place of Jehan An right now. In fact, actually, Chukan just with a very poor exit. He's lost a couple of positions quickly, just seemingly very late on the throttle there. And Han is up into 11th place. That's 2 places gained from his start. And actually, Chukan, who they've just overtaken, but there goes Chukan back again, as Ferry's gone up into the wall. Hasn't got too much damage, will be able to continue. But that is bad news for Ferry, and he's dropped outside, well, outside the top 10.
Yeah, and he was, of course, having a fantastic run in the race, which is very much unfortunate. And now we are looking at Jali, as I was pointing out at the Glen. Very annoyingly that some cars have the Lumi rank and some cars don't, as we have a pass for 3rd, and the Thai driver Datakujorn back into 3rd. So I think good damage limitation now. Does he have the pace, Sam? Come back at the 2 leaders, because of course, as we were saying in the opening portion of the broadcast, it's going to be super important to have a draft of the cars in front of you. Losing the draft is a disaster. Now they had the draft of each other, these two drivers here, but can they work together to go back to the lead? As Gallon 43.648, the fastest lap of the race so far.
Yeah, that is good, and Huang is struggling to stay with him. The draft effect isn't mega in these GT3 cars. It will help you along, but you still need to be within half a second a lap of natural pace in order to keep up around this circuit, as that is Stubber, who's just lost a place to Yasmin Yali, I believe, and he's now got Chukan, who's on the comeback trail. Chukan, after making a mistake on the last lap, lost a few positions. He's back up into the top 10 now, and he's right on the tail of Yali, looking every which way to get past. As the drivers kick up a little bit of dirt, trying to extend the circuit as much as they can at the moment. But at the front of this train is Gandor in 5th position, and I think he's going to be overtaken here by Sebastian Teixeira, perhaps into the bus stop, because they are very close, and this pack is just going to condense, I think, as these guys start to fight, going side by side into the bus stop. Really going to kill your speed through the corner.
Tisha going for the move on Mr. Gondor, and he gets the job done. Up into 5th place goes the French driver. I love the... Let me tell you what. Let's bring those flags in. because look at this beautiful assortment of flags that we have in our race here. I think one of the most diverse starting grids that we have in Apex Racing TV, absolutely.
Oh, oh! I think that may have been netcode. That's the bad news of the varying nations. In the end, everyone getting held up behind Gantor there, and now Yali and Chukan are going alongside into the horseshoe. That was bad luck right there. Like I said, I think it was netcode. It may have been just a slight tap round. And now I got side by side into the quick left-hander. Is it going to be run out of room here? Now they left each other a good amount of space. And Yali just pulling ahead round the outside. Now it's Chukan with a slightly better exit and manages to pull ahead. Don't lose each other too much time, guys, otherwise you'll lose the draft to the cars ahead. They're still alongside, leaving good racing room, really good, nice racing at the moment from these drivers. And Han just waiting in behind. The Lamborghini of Hoy right on these guys' tail as well.
Listen to the rumble of this beautiful, the most beautiful GT3 car in iRacing, the 4GT. As we have a pass there right in front, which you can't get in past Jolly, another legendary driver of the series. Now you will hear the power of the blue oval. He will slingshot past all of these drivers up into first.
There we go then. It looks like something from the 1960s, the interior of that car. Real rudimentary. It is pretty ancient on the iRacing surface. We do have a change for second position. Nathan Coujon, after that slowdown on the opening lap, up into second place, and on that last lap he was 1/10 of a second quicker than Alonso. He's made his work very tricky tonight as the Audi driver, but he's still got a good chance at the race win. Hoy is off the circuit, and he was just at the back of that pack, so I wonder if he tried to pull the trigger and go for an overtake. Doesn't seem to have worked out for him. The 29 car slowly getting back on his way. Boon Sanong may try to get past him as well, and here it was. In fact, it's by himself, so he just lost a little bit of time to the guy's head and maybe pushing a little bit too hard, trying to catch back up.
I've been told by the series overlord Chan Weian to get the cameras nice and close on him when he made a mistake. So I'm just abiding. We must have had a big mess in the infield.
Oh, Tilbury.
There are cars all over the place. Let's see if we can get a replay of what happened. There was already people slowing down here, Sam, and then something must have happened. Ooh, I just, of course, cut away at the worst possible moment. Ooh. Everyone went around at the same time. This is incredible camera work by myself. to miss absolutely everything.
Oh, you'll get a job at Formula 1 at this rate.
Ooh, the Martini car lost it, and basically at the worst... Oh, someone went hard into the wall. There were cars sliding every which way. This was the worst possible place, Sam, to get, you know, to get a spin, because of course, pack of cars in the highest speed corner in the track, the kink there on the left. Everyone is on a knife's edge. I've been driving, especially in the fixed series. You are there on a knife's edge, especially with the Ford. I noticed, which of course there are plenty of them racing today. So minimal contact, you spin, of course, but also minimal movement of the wheel to avoid, you know, to quickly move left or right to avoid the drama. And you are also on a knife's edge with every car. So that's why we had that big mess there at the kink. And we have now half an hour left in the race. There will be pit stops, if memory serves me right. And
sure does.
Luis Paulo Gallon. Let's get the time comparison up. He's having a bit more contained let's say, gains on second place, but gains nonetheless. So good for him. He's pulling away from the Thai driver, Nathan Jordan in second. Who's, is he falling back into the clutches of Wang? No, absolutely. But Wang is falling back to the clutches of Nicolas Fener in fourth place. And then we have this fantastic three-way fight here for fifth, sixth, and seventh.
Yes, and it is Sebastian who goes to the front of this one. Kim, though, with a tighter exit, just a bit too much sliding, though. Now compromise the exit, now onto the grass goes Stubber. I think he was just, I mean, he's flashing the lights. I don't think Kim really did anything wrong there. I think Stubber, if anything, was leaving a little bit too much space for his rival. Of course, me and Marco's team did crash at that Bay corner earlier on in the year, at the 24 hours. And so it is a tricky one, that one. You need to leave space for the other drivers, but easy for things to go wrong there. So he's still within the draft though, is Stubber, so it's not too bad news for him. That pit stop should be kicking in at as late as the half-an-hour stage. In the last race, drivers managed to go really far into the event before having to make that pit stop. But you will see some drivers make the pit stop very early. In fact, a few drivers have made a pit stop very early. Glenn Paolo is one of them, also Steve Tilbury, Simon Jorge Sanchez, and Lloyd Lawlin as well. However, that may have well been to pick up faster pairs. These drivers do get a couple of faster pairs in each race of the series. So yeah, that's probably the reasons for that one. As off the circuit goes Wu there in the Lamborghini. He is up 8 places though from the start. And also Tai Kai has just got past Lige Doik right there. Or Doak? Doak? How do you pronounce that one, Marco?
You know, my knowledge of South Korean names pronunciation is incredibly limited. Of course, as you know, my language of choice for this area of the world is Japanese, and we have a grand total of 0 Japanese drivers, so I'm pretty much useless.
It's a good point. Why are there no Japanese drivers? There's a lot of... because Wei Han, I believe, is from Singapore.
Yes, he is.
The great
he
nation.
always told us that the Japanese community on iRacing tends to be a little bit more like on their own. They also recently got their own club, like a few months ago when they created those new clubs, if you remember. But surely we are going to have some Japanese driver for sure tonight in the Formula 3.5 race, which is... always a strong South Korean and Japanese contingent in the SOF race that we broadcast. That's going to be 8:45 GMT tonight on Apex Racing TV from a location near you, which I don't remember where we are racing this time around.
But it's in the UK, is it?
I have absolutely no clue.
Hopefully it's Neston. Really should be the host
of
the British Grand Prix.
Of course we are racing at what Austin Knight calls Okiheim.
Aha, okay. Oh, I better post the camera back up actually. And apologies for the cameras. You'll notice a few times the cameras are located within the fences, which was not supposed to happen. But we'll try to address that. The other cameras are all right, I think. So it goes to TVT. Yarli then ahead of Yan, and these guys are just staying soaked. Apologies, that is Kim ahead of Stubber. Apologies, the Yarli hand battle was going on a little bit lower down the order. Some nice liveries, of course, as you were saying earlier on, Mark, some extravagant liveries, particularly like Tai Kim's livery on that one, very arty, if that's an adjective. And as we know, breaking this battle, of course, if you want, you can click on the link in the description below to open up the live timing for this series, provided by SDK Gaming, who also provide our overlay. You can click on that and it'll open up a web page where you can see the drivers' best lap times, their last lap time, their pit stop times, which is really useful for a strategic race like this, and also a bunch of other data as well, such as intervals between each of the drivers. So if you click on the link in the description below, then you can have access to all of that data.
I
We might
pinned
have a
the
change
link.
of message.
I pinned the link because I think we are having some server issues in the last couple of weeks, so that link is not really working, the one in the description. But the one I just pinged up in the Discord chat, in the YouTube chat, is working, as we have a slowdown, I am afraid, for the Ferrari there of Sebastian Tischer. So down into 70 slots, and now under pressure from the BMW of Jali, and he's going to the pits at this point, which
I wonder if there's something a bit more serious going on.
or it's one thing I was about to say and then I forgot to say that, of course, iRacing judges the fuel consumption based on how much you keep the throttle open, and this, of course, is one of the highest fuel consumption tracks on the service, so we might have already the pit window open.
Yeah, perhaps so. Yeah, 24 minutes to go, so you should be able to get to the end of the race from here. I was thinking as well that, of course, if you get a slowdown through the bus stop, you can just keep your foot floored and then pit on that lap, because then you serve it whilst you're in the pit lane. Don't support that, of course, and it is kind of against the rules, but I feel like as long as you're not deliberately cheating, it's alright. But of course he did serve the slowdown anyway, so there's I'm not quite sure on that one. Yali's managed to break the draft on this two-hand. I think Can's still slightly within the draft. You can see that gap slightly coming down, albeit that is to the race leader, but no, certainly that gap coming down to about 9/10 of a second. Therefore, just with a slight reduction of drag by being that distance behind the next car. Gandor and Zhang battling against. Gandor's really been in the mix. Maybe he was up in 5th position earlier on in the race, but then had a bit of net code or something. Certainly had an incident with another driver, got half spun. Was fortunate not to get hit by another driver. He's coming back through the order, however, his Mercedes rival, Zhang, looks as though he might be able to pull off this move, should have a better exit going through NASCAR turn 4, and he does spur ahead. That's the battle for 10th place.
Tenemos un amigo desde Venezuela en la chat de YouTube, Phoenix Max Wheels. Buenos días. Mañana en Venezuela. Yeah, he's asking about the Mustang. Why the Mustang GT is not in the iRacing. Oh wow, as Hatsune Miku there goes completely through some cones. Very special effects for the next concert. I assume you know what Hatsune Miku is. Oh, sideways for the Hatsune Miku car, or maybe you don't.
So what? What are you saying?
Hatsune Miku, the character on the side of this car. Oh, you don't have the liveries. Okay, whatever. But
no, I do have the liveries. I'm not familiar though.
Hatsune Miku is the world's most famous Vocaloid, which I assume you know what a Vocaloid is.
No.
Perfect. It's a virtual singer basically, you know, and they do.
Aha. Okay.
She has like a widespread that is, publishes albums, etc. But of course she's not real. She's and in the concert they have like the projection. It looks incredibly real, and it is being projected. There is absolutely incredible special effects. And who knows what maybe the next trick will be exploding through sets of iRacing cones in the next Hatsune Miku concert.
I need to watch more foreign films, clearly. Need to culture myself up. Kim, though, I mean, it's helping him along at the moment. He must be singing in that car right now, because it's all going well for him in 5th position. Well clear of Yali and Co, as Brooke comes into the pits. And so, well and truly, he's overshot. Oh, well, you don't want to reverse too far. You'll get away with that one. Really tricky pit lane, this, because the pit lane is 100 kilometers speed limit, I believe, or maybe it's 60 miles an hour. I mean, it's the same thing. But well, what I meant by that was that I think the Americans would say it's 60 miles an hour, you know, rather than 61, which is 100 kilometers an hour. Don't laugh at me, Michael, all right?
Clearly haven't played a lot of Euro Truck Simulator and American Truck Simulator recently.
No.
Okay.
No, I have not.
Oh, it's a spin
oh.
from Lee Sang-jun. He's trying to get back into the racing surface. He's losing a lot of positions, down to 23rd. Azman Abdullah is also coming in. Very popular car, the BMW. Also we have the new pit exit. Thankfully, they have removed those nasty bumps there that were the bone of the bane, not the bone of my existence. In many editions of the Daytona 24, because you hit those and you were done for the day. They extended the cones where they are now in real life, because IMSA now uses from the 2-3 seasons they've been using like a RFID system with the Michelin tires, and so they are basically like you know, the thing that prevents the lift door from closing when you go in front of it. No, I don't know how you say it. And basically that scans the tires as the car goes by. How do you call that mechanism?
So what?
So
when you go through that again?
When you go to an elevator, no, and you are slowing getting in, and the doors start closing, there is that sensor that notices you are entering and opens the doors again, avoiding you from becoming the meat in in an elevator sandwich, basically.
I just assumed that was like infrared sensors or something, but I'm not so sure, to be honest.
We have an incredibly complicated term for that in Italy. We call it the photocellula, which I cannot translate in English even if I tried.
Do you have the word infrared?
Yes.
Could that be the same? Oh, you do. Okay, so it's definitely not that. Okay, I'm not sure.
Big
Oh, as that is Lee again, and he has made contact with Yver right here, I think. Here we go. So one of the French drivers out of the running. Oh, he's just gone in too deep, hasn't he? Loving the livery on that.
No.
Love the Alpine livery.
Hating that is a war crime. I'm sorry. No.
Oh wow! Come on, it's a great livery. It looks really good on the Lambo as well.
I mean, I'm sorry. I put it at the same level as those people running with Alpha Tauri liveries on everything. As Daniel Litt is entering the pits.
I don't know. What about you just don't have much taste in liveries, clearly.
I mean, no, I love the Alpine livery. It's beautiful livery. But no.
What about so you don't like overused liveries, pretty much?
No, I don't like liveries that don't belong. Like I don't like, for example, when people drive the Mercedes GT3 with the Sebastian Vettel helmet's color design on it. I mean, it makes sense now. It makes more sense now that he's driving a Mercedes car, basically. But it didn't make sense up until a few months ago. Or people driving a Petronas-themed Ferrari GT3, for example. Like, for example,
I understand that.
Nicolas Fener, perfect livery for his car. It's a Mercedes. It looks like a Mercedes.
I'll have to agree to disagree on this one. I think whenever I can see an Alpine livery, I will take it. Let's get a Renault into the iRacing, please, and then
we have plenty
Alpine liveries. Do we?
We have Formula Renault 3.5.
That's a good point. Okay. Tune in for the 3.5 championship later on, where hopefully we see a few Alpine liveries on circuit. As the Ford does the fancy headlight thing. That's not a wrong thing with the Ford. That is deliberate. That is a very tight angle. I'm not sure if that. No, he's messed it up.
Oh,
no,
careful.
That's pushing it. Okay, should be all right, but Yeah, he feels so far away there. I'm not surprised he couldn't see. You need a peripheral vision or an owl there in order to see your pit box. So yeah, some more pit stops going on at the moment. The top 10 have not pitted in this race, and yeah, still a few more drivers to get past Kim and Han and Co. This is a fairly tight battle between Yali and Stubber. Also a good battle going on between Lee J Doik at the moment and Stephen Thomas, and in fact they've just made contact down to turn 1, and Benjamin Brook is catching up to these drivers. They have pitted as well, have these guys, so this is all for position as Song actually goes up the inside of Cantor.
Ooh, the Mercedes there of Mr. Gondor absolutely sideways, as we have the leaders, everyone coming in for their stop.
That's as far as he can push it seems. So how much shorter can Natha Kunjon put, how much less fuel can he put in? We think it's probably going to be the same, and Gallon absolutely nailed the fuel. That's
oh, there we go. We see some cars coming
now
up.
stationary.
Those are cars that are a lap down, and Gallon comes out. Here comes the tight. Yeah, here comes the tight driver. Let's see if Kevin Wang. No, Kevin Wang was still a long ways behind. Fener could be close, even though the McLaren should come out before the Mercedes. Something we don't hear every day. And here comes Jali. Cameron Stabber, Parivachu can't take him. Of course, is already pitted. Let's see where he slots in with his Itasha car. Of course, now, I mean, you needed to be careful earlier, but you could remove the pit limiter straight away now. Ooh, that was very aggressive from the Canadian-based driver, and he moved right in front of pit exit, but he got away with it and up into fifth, +5 for him. I've been told to keep an eye on the driver in the in-race chat, which is Stephen Thomas, up 4 places, up to 26th. The chat was hailing him as a big mover, but only +4. So I think he's paying that particular user in the chat to, you know, promote his brand, because everyone has stopped basically now, apart from Stéphane Hiver. Actually, this is a beautiful livery, but I'm sorry, no. I mean, no.
You're a hard man to please.
I mean, it's lovely. The spec maps are used beautifully, but no.
Here comes Sanchez on the outside of Lee. Has had his fair share of problems, has Lee, but I believe all those problems were before his pit stop, so he should have a brand new car now. But still, too much drag in order to keep Sanchez behind. He's up into 28th position. Sanchez pitted on lap 5. So he's going to be... No, I don't think he's... You know, he can't go to the end of the race, because it seems like the fuel can only go 26 minutes, sorry. And so if Sanchez only pitted on lap 4, he'd have to go about 34 minutes. So he's going to have to pit again in Sanchez, so that's bad news for him.
Oh, he's going for a ride. Can he stop the car? Basically, you have no control over your actions, and there's contact with Steve Tilbury, another Hatsune Miku car. So you can see this driver stopped on lap 5. The leaders, I would say that Sebastien Tischer is a bit on the limit, but my maths skills are absolutely terrible, therefore I will not devolve any longer into fuel considerations, and I will bring back the car logos to make the manufacturers happy. But Luis Paulo Gallon, we were talking about the you know, getting you know, pulling out away from the draft, staying in the draft. Luis Paulo has absolutely, you know, made that point moot, because he's pulled away from the Audi of Nathan Kunjor. There is a lapped car in between them, and is running away with it with 10 minutes left in this event. The Mercedes driver from Brazil is absolutely looking like a sure bet for the race win.
Yeah, Gallon doesn't make many mistakes. So, Yali slaloming about there. That's great to see. Yeah, Gallon doesn't make many mistakes. So 3.6 seconds ahead. You are praying at this point for him to make a mistake if you're in that Mercedes car running in second position. Well, it's just regrets, isn't it? Because you think he definitely had the pace tonight, did Nathan Kunjon, to stay in the draft, whilst maybe Gallon has a tenth of a second, I would say, advantage, if that. I think Nathan Kunjon would have been able to stay in the draft had he not have picked up that slowdown on the first lap of the race, and just hasn't been able to recover since then. And Aaron Mitz have just swapped positions. The company owned by, no, of course, a Lamborghini owned by Audi. Apologies, I was all wrong. But anyway, the Lambo getting past the BMW, and who made a mistake earlier on in the race, had a spin on the comeback trail. But you can see half of an hour into this race, and we've got a minute covering the top 18, a very wide field spread. Lots of different abilities, I mean, in this series. Gallon and Nathan Kunjon are absolutely top drivers, probably even could fight for a pro license, frankly. And then we have kind of some more lower rated drivers, but everyone's welcome into the Sim Racers Asia community. And of course, do check out their Facebook group, and of course, do check out sign up details as well for this series if you want to take part.
Yeah, we have some absolutely fantastic people supporting this series. Of course, the Sim Racers Association community, and with all their great historical members. We had the pleasure to commentate on them for a long time. And of course, let me give a big shout out to all of the partners of the series, starting of course with Next Level Racing. They will provide an F-GT rig to the overall series champion, and GT-Lite rigs to the random participant who will be picked at random, of course, being a random participant, as Mitch Roy and Daniel Litter going at it. Plus, the names we all know and love from the past series who are back supporting the championship, like the Macau-China Sim Racing Association and the Sim Racing Association of Singapore for the sanctioning of the event, Motorsports Singapore for supporting Sim Racing Asia, and of course SimR Garage for powering this series. And I tell you what, Sam, Luis Paulo Gallon, looking like it will make it 3 out of 3. Only 7 minutes and change left.
Yep, yeah, not a long way to go. Did put in slightly less fuel than Nathan Kunjon. Actually less fuel than most other drivers did Gallon. So seeing that he's putting in such a terrific pace, and of course hasn't had a draft for this entire event, maybe he could struggle with that, but I'd seriously doubt it. I think he'll just have enough to reach the checker flag without many litres to spare. Juan's still in a solid third position now, be good championship points for him. He might move up into second position in the championship after this one. Juan after Ross Rizzo, of course, not attending tonight. Probably paying more attention to the Aussie Mixed and Fixed GT series, of course, which runs on a Sunday evening for the Australians, as we watch Yali and Kim. So Yali was able to pull out a little bit of a gap, I think, after, in fact it was Kim who I think pulled out a little bit of a gap after the pit stops. Managed to have a slightly shorter pit stop than Kim, but Yali's caught and passed him. I think Stuber might be able to get in that one as well. Leet and Hoy still battling one another. And Daniel Leet, of course, commentator for us at Apex Racing TV, very smart driver. He knows how to race against other drivers, not going to waste too much time on this one. And if they do start fighting, Aaron Mitt might be able to catch up as well. He did manage to take a couple of tenths out of these drivers on that last lap. Hoy all over the back of the Australian, dancing to the inside. lead runs wide. It's going to be tight as they move onto the oval. Ori trying to get a slightly tighter exit, it seems. Dipping into the draft into NASCAR 1 and 2. 55 seconds off the lead are these drivers. A few drivers, that was just Steve Tilby just coming into the pits for his second pit stop of the race. Of course, most drivers just doing the one. So Lamborghini goes the long way round. Nice move there from Hoy, but Leeds is going to have a fantastic opportunity at getting back past us. Chukan has had to come into the pits. Well, I'm not sure when Chukan's first pit stop was, but that's a shame for a driver who was featured in the top 10 for most of the event.
Lap 15, so only 7 laps ago he stopped. Oh, and he misses his pit stop. So easy to do here at Daytona. You have no reference points. The pit lane is so tightly packed. Once again, Jolly and Kim going at it for 5th place. They are using all of the track limits and a bit more. Behind them, Daniel Litt and Mitchell Hoy still going at it. This fight between the Ferrari and the Lamborghini. The Australian seems to have the upper hand for the time being, but of course need to be careful because Otaranmit from Thailand in this beautifully liveried BMW is coming for them.
Yeah, I do like a bit of pink on the race car, a little bit of magenta. Fortunately, that's not magenta, I think, but still not too far off. Yeah, he's onto the back of these cars now, isn't he? He is all over the back, so it will be a tight final couple of laps for these drivers. Sanchez has had to come into the pits from 25th. And just, I mean, you spoke about it earlier on, Marco, but this is such a high fuel consumption circuit that if you do have to pit in a little bit early for some damage repairs, it is that much trickier to get to the end of the race. And with this extended pit lane as well that we have in iRacing, it's quite tricky as we're going to get grilled here. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. As Benar catches up.
Let's stick out those marshmallows whilst you're watching,
yep.
or your sandwiches. Whatever the time of day you are watching this, there is something you want to eat that's better cooked. This is the perfect moment. You know, Sam. This is a upcoming days. It's going to be a busy 7 days for me. 10 days for me. 7 days for me. 7 days, yes. Of course, yesterday we had Good Friday, so the start of the Easter celebrations. Today and of course tomorrow is more broadcasting and more holidays. And then Monday is my brother's birthday. Friday is going to be my birthday. So that's the 5th and the 9th, as we have a crash, unfortunately.
Oh, wow.
That is going to put a stop on the celebrations. And Daniel Litt, I'm afraid, will get a penalty, big penalty for cutting the course, because he went from one end of the infield to the other. I have no idea how. We'll know in a second.
So these guys have been battling against each other really nicely for a while. And Leeds, they just made a bit of contact and then skating across.
That's good.
And then Leeds hasn't really used the brakes, and the other drivers having their life flash before their eyes. I think even if he had used his brakes, if anything, probably not using his brakes is probably the right thing to do there, because if he had, he wouldn't have slowed down in time. Oh, well, you can see Zhang just saw and had to make a reflex decision there to go left or right, and he chose right.
Luis Paulo Garlon, I switched the cameras with him, and he takes a creative line through the left-hander that brings us back to the start finish to NASCAR 1 and 2 as we are in the final lap. As I was saying, so Monday is my brother's birthday, on the 5th, on the 9th it is my birthday, and on the 7th is my Apex-versary, so incredible week, full of celebrations.
we all know what the most important one out of them is, Mark 8. Your 3 year
3 years.
Apex anniversary. Yeah. So, well, it's going to be 3 race wins for Louis Paolo Gallon. He didn't get pole position this time, but he got the lead on the opening lap, and there was no looking back for him. For the third time this season, it is the Brazilian Louis Paolo Gallon taking the win here in the Sim Racers Asia GT Series. Nathan Kunjon finishing in second place, and it'll be Kevin Huang as well finishing in third. If he can hold on, this will be close between himself and Bernard. Bernard looking to the outside, it's not enough. 8/100ths of a second, the gap between the two of them at the line. Yali beats Stubber, and he beats Kim. Kim with a slow last lap. Yeah, he must have run out of fuel.
Because he was in front, or either a slowdown, or he ran out of fuel. Or maybe picked a slowdown here at the bus stop. Let's see. All good. Yeah, slow down.
Yeah.
He went on the right side of the new curb. We have still some battles to deal with. Here we go. Oi and Ansawet side by side. Can they get to the chopper in time? Incredibly can. And justice prevails. The Valentino Rossi car finishes second, which would be a great result for Valentino Rossi.
Oh wow!
Nowadays.
Come on, mate, come on. He's like 60 years old.
Exactly, he should be doing something else. Finally, drivers coming, and see Daniel Litt is going, unfortunately, to pay the big price. Yet he didn't get. Sorry, he did have to serve a 41-second stop and hold for cutting the course. And to, you know, quote, as we see the replay of Luis Paulo Gallon crossing the start finish line, to quote legendary Brazilian commentator Mario Henrique, he crosses the start finish line, and I'm thinking only one thing that the title will say, that's Caixa, which means in the bank, basically, and the victory. And at this point, you know, one might start to think about the championship being in the bank. For Luis Paulo Gallon, 3 out of 3, not a bad start.
Yeah, and with Rizzo not attending this meeting, maybe that puts into jeopardy how many races he'll attend in the rest of the season as well. Yeah, brilliant news for the Brazilian. As long as he sticks with the series, he is looking pretty unbeatable at the moment. 4 seconds clear of Seisha Natha Kunjon tonight. Kevin Huang rounding out the podium there. It's Nicolas Bernard, the top of the several French drivers taking part. Yasmin Yali in 5th position, beating in a really nice battle Cameron Stubber and Tai Kim. Sebastian Teixeira finished in 8th place. Then it was Jay Han and Ming Yu Song. Behind that was Tian Zhang, Benjamin Brook, Aaron Mitt, Mitchell Hoy, Pachara Hong Suet, Jamal Gandor, who was running very high up. Gandor was up in 5th place, but really had a tough meeting after that. Wei in Long, and Thomas Ferry rounds out the top 18. Then it was but my stones are slightly different. I don't know. There's Parawat Chukan in 19th, Asman Abdullah in 20th, Narong Boon Sanong in 21st. There was Daniel Leet, Yong Jae Lee, Stephen Thomas, Stefan Iver, Lee Jae Doik, Simon Sanchez, Park Chan Woo in 28th. And Steve Tilby was in 29th after making 2 pit stops. Then Sang Yun Lee, Kai, Che Heen Kim, Glenn Paolo, Lloyd Lawlin, Federico Teixeira, Surin Salvo Rajo in 36th. Was that all of them? It was. I think my pronunciation improved from the grid to that one. once again, apologies to the drivers.
By the way, before anyone watching the broadcast you know, to do some quality control later, Early Thompson, I kept the crowd off because it's realistic, because no one watches the race from the grandstand when they have sports car racing here in Daytona. They are all in the infield camping. So there is not, as a fan of North American sports car racing, there is nothing I hate more than seeing sports car racing at Daytona on iRacing with the grandstands packed to the brim with 500,000 people. That simply doesn't happen. So this is especially at night. In the day you see like a couple of people there, but in the infield it's like being at a rock concert at Glastonbury, you know. But in the grandstands, no one is there, especially because it's so windy when they do and cold when they do the Daytona 24-hour race, that no one is brave enough to, you know, and I understand them, you know, better to stay in the infield, close to the fire, you know, and some good drinks and food. Don't you agree, Sam?
I think so, and I do understand that judgment, but I will be reporting you to Mr. Lee Thompson
Wow.
for that outrageous comment previously, and well, you won't see Marco back next in 2 weeks' time. We will have a chat though with Kevin Huang, who joins us in the commentary box right now. Kevin, congratulations, 3rd position out there, but it was very tight with Nicholas near the end. He seemed to have a little bit more pace than you maybe in those closing stages, but you hung on to the podium.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Sam. I thought he was just playing with me. I thought he was saving fuel for because he caught me at such a fast pace, and then when he caught me, he was keeping the same like 0.9 second gap for a few laps. I thought he was trying to save some fuel so that he can get an extra lap and then do a overcut on me. But I was super surprised when I came out and I was still ahead of him, and he pitted behind me. I'm guessing what happened was he was running a high downforce setup, and he couldn't pass me on the straights. I'm guessing that's it. Otherwise, I don't know. It's a weird one.
Yeah, perhaps a good shout on that one. But yeah, certainly, so it was a close battle between you two. When you saw the announcement for this championship, the fact that Sim Racers Asia was coming back and it was in the GT3 cars, were you pleased that it was in the GT3 cars? Have you got a lot of experience in this machinery?
Yeah, I've driven the McLaren for like the last 10 years. I don't know how long. It's me and the McLaren are just like everyone knows I'm the McLaren driver, so for me to switch would be kind of weird. That's just my go-to car. But for the championship, I don't really I don't care. I'll drive anything. If they had a Solstice championship, I'd be all for it. It doesn't matter to me.
Write that down. That sounds good. We've got yeah, of course, many more rounds of the championship remaining. I mean, what are your aims for this season, or is it just, you know, having fun at each round, or would you like to, you know, claim another race win perhaps? I mean, 3rd position a couple of times so far this season. You're not too far away.
I don't think it's down to me. It's down to Luis Paulo Gallon. If he races, yeah, there's no chance. He's in another level. If you saw the beginning of the race, Sachai, Sachai and Luis were just on another level. I wasn't racing him. I don't know if he was catching me so fast. I just let him go because my target wasn't him at all. We're not in the same league. I was racing Nicholas from the start, and I knew that. So it was such an easy decision to just let him go.
Yeah, those two are absolutely lightning in qualifying as well. Just absolutely seemingly having something else out there. Congratulations, Kevin, on that podium and on the points that you've earned for the championship. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to Tae Kim. He's racing. I think he finished 7th. I'm happy I beat him, but he gave me a lot of really good tips, and it gave me at least like half a second a lap. So it's a huge thanks to him.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having a chat with us, Kevin, and best of luck for the next round of the championship.
Thanks. See you guys next time. Bye.
Kevin Huang there. Your P3 finisher started P3 as well, very consistent out there to claim the podium. Marco, it's a slight role reversal here. I think we might be able to drag up Daniel Lee. Would you like to have a chat with him?
Absolutely. Let's bring him in and have a chat with Daniel himself. Daniel, welcome to the booth. How's it going? How was the race? And of course, the big talking point, of course, you had that scary moment at the end of the race, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. And yeah, how was it, all things considered?
Yeah, good evening, gents. Bit different to be on this side of the questions as opposed to asking them traditionally. But no, look, it was a great race out there. A little bit of chaos, which is I guess a little bit kind of what we've seen in the couple of early races of SRA this season. But once that all sort of got out of the way, it's some really good battling. And I guess other than me making a bit of a meal of trying to get out of the pit lane now that iRacing's updated where the pit exit is, I had a really good battle with Michael, and I was actually just looking at the replay there. It's a little 6 of one, half dozen the other, but yeah, I don't know. iRacing decided to hand out a 40-second stop-go penalty for shortcutting the circuit, and that sort of put dividends to the end of that race.
I think it's one of the few places in iRacing where you can get that. I know I'm a terrible driver and I like to race a lot of D and Rookie Series on the road, and inevitably I'm going to miss the big hairpin at Summit Point after the quick right-hander, the kink right-hander there. And if you go straight there, even if you like take it at snail's pace and you don't want to rejoin the track going backwards, you get cut in the course. And this is another of those rare places. And unfortunately, we called it straight away with Sam in the booth, and that cost you a lot. Too bad, because that fight was basically lasted for several laps, and you were giving us a great show.
Yeah, it was a really awesome battle. I think my tyres were pretty knackered at the end of that one, and didn't really have a lot for him sort of in the initial turn-in phase of the corner, so I really had to sort of back up the corner, and then that left me vulnerable at a few spots there. And once he got through on the bus stop, I had to have a crack and try and hold him off. But it seems like, and pretty synonymous with Daytona, if you can hold that inside line down into turn one, you generally can recover and put a good fight on at the back end there, and that's what we saw. So I'll go back later, I'll check out the replay. I think I nearly collected an AMG while I was spearing back. I don't know who that was, so I'll probably those guys.
It was we watched the replay on board from him, especially at night. You cannot really spot the cars because of the different lighting. You see this little white dot that is your car coming from the right side and then becoming very big, very, very, very fast.
Yeah, and it took me by surprise just how close he was, because I couldn't see him in the rear view. So apologies to him. Hope he had the brown pants on. I certainly did at the end of that one. But no, look, it was a really good race, and hopefully we'll get a few more of these in over the course of the season.
So, judging by the calendar following the official series, I'm very sad that we will not be broadcasting next week, because we are at the classic layout of Lime Rock Park. I think you will need to get your elbows ready for that race.
Yeah, and a few knee pads. I'm sure it's going to be a pretty chaotic race. I may give that one a wide berth, because it's a very short circuit. I think we're going to be looking at sub 50-second lap times around there, and with just how quick these cars are, it could be an interesting race, but I'm sure it'll dish up some fantastic racing nonetheless.
So the next race we will be broadcasting is from the new track of iRacing, Hockenheim. So Daniel, we hope to have you in the broadcast booth with that. Before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, look, definitely keen to see how Hockenheim goes with these cars especially, but a big thank you to both yourself, Marco, and Sam for the broadcast tonight. And Marco, I hear you're doing double duties again tonight, so fantastic effort there. And then to our sponsors on board, Penrite Racing and Ryco Filters.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Daniel. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too, gents. Have a good one.
That was Daniel Litt, of course, finishing in P23 after a scary moment towards the end of the race. Sam, we can safely say we partied like it was 2018 today in the broadcast booth, and I really enjoyed it. Bit sad that we will be missing Lime Rock, but we will be back for Hockenheim in 2 weeks' time. Then thankfully we will miss the Nordschleife. I'm so happy, and we will be back for Road America. Then 2 weeks after that is going to be Okayama. Then unfortunately we are skipping Monza, and we will get back for, even though maybe one of these races will be shuffled, so we can show because we are showing the odd numbered weeks, no? But of course I want to probably we want to probably watch the season finale at Spa, which is going to be on week 12. So maybe we can make a we can abolish Circuit of the Americas or something like that, and skip straight away to Spa. I'm just I know that Weian is watching. Then someone is asking that their livery on their car was wrong in the chat. I delete the paints manually before every broadcast, so I don't know where the problem could be. Like I physically, the moment I go live, I go to my paints folder in iRacing and I delete everything. So I'm sorry about the wrong livery, but we are running out of time. Sam, I think it's time for you to take it away.
Yeah, I think so. Of course, once again, a shout out like we did earlier on to everyone who helps out this fantastic Sim Racers Asia iRacing GT3 series. Next Level Racing, Macau-China Sim Racing, and also SimR Garage as well. So do check them all out, and check out simracing.sg as well to find more information on the championship. So yeah, big thanks to all of those sponsors. Thanks to you guys for watching as well. Thanks to Giles for putting on such a fantastic show. And of course, if you've enjoyed this podcast, do leave a like on it, subscribe to Apex Racing TV, and check out our social media on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We'll be back with you for this Sim Racers Asia Championship in a couple of weeks' time. We're not broadcasting the next round of the championship, as Marco was explaining, but we will be back in a fortnight's time, so make sure to catch up on that action, and of course the rest of the championship as well. But for now, it is goodbye from myself, Sam Fitzpatrick, and from Marco Barbier, and it is another race win for Luis Paolo Gallon. It's 3 from 3 for him in these races so far this season. Best of luck to him in race 4. We'll see you back in race 5. See you very soon.